Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
ॐ उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानम् अवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. One should lift oneself with oneself. Lift one's own mind with your own effort, for your own mind is your best friend, or your own mind is your worst enemy. This comes in Gita 6th chapter. So please remember this again and again. Your own mind is your best friend or your worst enemy.
Om Shanti 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 Om. Anyone has any questions to discuss? As there was some discussion and people were asking things, so sometimes even clearing doubts can be useful.
That's exactly why I gave it that slokam, because somebody was writing like that. Your own mind is your own friend and your own mind is your own enemy. That's the famous sentence from Gita.
Yeah.
Because if that is not taken care of, again and again, these kind of problems will occur because we think we have our own concepts about realization. That makes it rather difficult. And that's why we say that please come with an open mind. Shraddha means open mind. If that open mind is there, everything will work out. If that open mind is not there, I have a preconceived notion, then it becomes rather difficult, because especially with Indians, we have so many preconceived notions, because each culture does its own kind of making people put in a pigeonhole. So we are put in a different kind of pigeonhole. So to get out of the pigeonhole takes time.
Yeah. And that is why the importance of grace is so much,
Yes.
And that's why we sometimes, though it's non-duality, and Bhagavan is us and we are Bhagavan in the true sense, and but because so much occupied with the mind body and always seeing things and believing they are all true, we need some form in this physical world to say that this is that pure self, represent pure self. And there comes the importance of Arunachala. There comes it is very, very important. We should not take it lightly, because the mind can say, oh, it's duality, it's a hill, but it is a hill for the dual mind only. Otherwise, what type of support do you need when you are that? And that who told us to even believe on Arunachala? The person who was non-dual, who was abiding in his self, he said to us. He said that thing that we have to, if we have to look for something, he didn't come to Tirunelmalai. Bhagavan didn't come to Tirunelmalai for realization. He was realized and then he came and then settled at Hill. So an enlightened being is telling us, and getting devotee later on, like a guru, a teacher has given you that, and then you reach there. So you're always devoted to the guru or the teacher. The teacher, let's say, is Arunachala Hill, but for him, after he attained everything, he gave all that credit to Arunachala. So you can see that how profound Arunachala is. And if you people don't have that much of faith in what he has said, see all the enlightened beings right now. Almost all of them has visited Arunachala. All of them, whether it is Eckhart Tolle, whether it's Amritanandmayi Ma, or you can call anyone. Some people some you don't know, but almost all. How is it? Like, why a person has to go to India, that to Tirunamalai, and that to Arunachala, not to any other place? There are so many places, There are innumerable number of pilgrimages in India and in the whole world. Why only Arunachala? I'm telling this because it is so important for us to understand that a firm faith, on Arunachala can help you to cross this ocean of samsara. And this you cannot you cannot forget, because it's a form, and if you love forms and if you can't get into that awareness, at least there is Bhagavan has left the body, but he was coming from us to tell us that, look, this form is eternal, at least eternal till we are living.
And
So
also one more thing is, especially regarding Arunachala, by thinking about it, you get mukti. That's what our Ramana has told. In Sanskrit, there is a verse: if you are born in Trivandrum, if you are die in Kashi, you go straight mukti. But here in Arunachala, you think about it, you get mukti. Just by thinking about it.
yeah,
That's the beauty. That's why Udanid Atman be established in that hill itself. You get mukti. Because Arunachala, Aruna means early morning sun, shining. And it is never moving. Who is that? That is the self, which is shining and not moving at all. It's in you. That's the beauty of Arunachala. You have to really take this into heart and work towards it, because it is so palpable. And if you can't do that, just think about that hill always. It's unbelievable effect.
People say, even Shiv Puran, it says that there are so many pilgrimages, so many places. Each place gives something, like some pilgrimage will give you wealth, other will give you health, other will give you name and fame. Some pilgrimage will give you, good offsprings, or something else. But this is the place where it will take everything from you. It will take away. It will make you empty. This is the only pilgrimage which will empty you. Every other place gives you. This takes away everything what you are
I
not.
can give you a very recent example. That one guy was a professor in IIT Chennai. He was for 2 years in Hong Kong when I was in Hong Kong, and he came on a deputation or a 2-year course in City University of Hong Kong City University. So he used to come to the spiritual gatherings which one of my mentors had. So when he came, he was a very good follower of Sadhu Om, that man. So very nice person. One fine morning, he decided that he is going to give up his lecturership in or professorship in IIT. He was hardly 35. He just chucked that job, straight went to China Mission, did 2 year brahmachari course, chucked that, went to straight to Tiruvannamalai and sat there. Now he is writing such a beautiful articles in Mountain Path, and he is established there. So just recently, I'm talking about 15 years ago. You need not go back to 1950 where Ramana was here. Here there is a man who is a professor of metallurgy in IIT, one of the best institutes in India. He had checked that job, one of the most wanted jobs in India. Who can be professor in IIT? He checked that job, goes becomes a monk there, and he's sitting there. And he's writing
what's his
articles
name?
there. Tattavidananda or something. I'll remember. I don't remember. I remember his face. I don't remember his. He writes articles. I'll send you the name. One second.
Even when Bhagavan was living on the hill, I again don't remember the name, but this guy was did so many inventions. Like he even changed the way the fountain pen works, and he got a very highly esteemed job by the British Indian government and something, and then he showed that he left everything. He came there. The government people found him for a very coveted position, and he received the letter of invitation. He took it to Bhagavan, showed it to Bhagavan, whether I should go and join or what should I do. Bhagavan kept quiet. Bhagavan never said no to people, either yes or keeping quiet. So he knew that it means no. He just tore away the so this is not that the people who came there were all beggars and they had no money or they had no other place to go and they came for food. Look, there might be few like that, but then there were people who had everything and they left everything and came there.
Then there was another person, for example, there was a doctor who was working in what's that in Pondicherry, on AIMS Institute, one of the best medical institutes in India.
Jipmar.
And he was
Jipmar,
exactly. Jipmar. He was working there, and he was supposed to be sent on a deputation by government of India, that British government at that time, to Germany. But at the last moment, because of some recommendation, somebody else replaced him. So he was getting a bit down. So he came to Tiruvannamalai, but he was almost much evolved soul. So he came to Tiruvannamalai, saw Ramana, and the same question like we were saying, whether to go there, not to go there, like his mind was, and told his problem to Ramana, or even he was not even telling, he was just thinking about that problem. And there came one word, nil, stay here. That's in Tamil, it's nil means stay put. He stayed in that same place. He was sitting in there. He became Thinnai Swami. Thinnai Swami is very famous in Tiruvannamalai. So he sat in that, in front of a house, there is a small platform. He sat there. And he was just like that, because he told, please stay here, stay still. So he stayed there. So there were many, many stories like this, which you feel that that place is unbelievable. And thinking about it, just think about that hill, and you become like that. You become Arunachala. Your light itself, unmoving light, which is ever present. That's the beauty. Arunachala. That name is so beautiful. That is the self. It's nothing more than that is the self. It's not moving, but yet enlivening every being in this universe.
Always when we remember a hill, something which is steady and still, and whatever is happening, it's just being a witness, watching. Arunachala Hill itself is watching from time immemorial. So many people getting absorbed into the self. So many. Not just hundreds of thousands, millions. We don't know. We only know thousands maybe. but there might be so many we don't know. Siddhas from time immemorial, There were people who came when Bhagwan was there. They came, they saw, and they left. They didn't even ask any question. How do we know that what they received? Like, we are not making list of any enlightened souls. People came, people got, people left. They never told anyone. And still, that was when Bhagwan was there. Even before Bhagwan, if you say, people were coming to Arunachala. So I was listening to this beautiful story of a Muslim devotee who was a, a scholar in a university, I think in Hyderabad. So he was Bhagwan's devotee. He used to come to Bhagwan, and because coming from that background, he was not into idol worship or anything, but he loved non-duality and was quite an advanced spiritual seeker. So he said to Bhagwan that, exactly the same thing, that Bhagwan, you are non-dual. You give Advaitic, pure experiential knowledge to us, but you still talk about Arunachala. He said, yeah, why have you come here? So that man said, I have not come for Arunachala, I have come for you, for non-duality. I don't believe in any Arunachala and all this thing, and that is not my cup of tea. He said, then why you came? He said, I came for you. He said, why I came? I came for Arunachala. If you are coming for me and I came for Arunachala, then you came for what? Why I am sitting here? This was not my abode. Bhagwan never ever. Look, tell me, in whose praise Bhagwan wrote whatever he wrote? On whose praise? Always Arunachala, Arunachala Pancharatnam. He always. Why he never moved out of that place? And where that energy went when he left the body, just there. The reason I think, I don't know how it came, this so much of you can say feelings or emotion for Arunachala, because I think sometimes when our mind get disturbed, when we think there's no way out, there is a support you can take. At least there is one support which you can take in a form. You can think about it, you can watch. Now there are apps on which you can see Arunachala Hill live cameras. You might be knowing about them. You can have a picture, you can have a stone, you can just think about it. As Neelakantanji said, even thinking about it, it settles the mind. When the mind is really, really, giving you trouble, and you're sitting in silence, but there's no silence, and your attention rather than on silence is going on to the mind, just say Arunachala Shiva, visualize it. Now I'll tell you a very, very important truth. I'm going to take this mind body medicine retreat from Friday till Tuesday. It's a residential retreat for all types of complex medical issues and psych issues and all. I'm not giving any pill there, and I'm not discussing individual diseases. But what I am going to discuss is exactly this thing: belief. What you believe, that you become. Studies have shown that, let's say someone has a cancer in some part of the body. If he thinks that that energy or the white light, or let's say the macrophages which eats up the tumor in any part of the body, you visualize it's they are coming and they are eating, and the tumor is melting away and it is gone and the disease is cancer free. You keep doing visualization, imagery, it works. There is a scientist, very renowned scientist, Candace Pert, in America. She did she's a scientist on neuropeptides and endorphins, and she did experiments that, let's say your body is aching and you are feeling down, and you think that in your pituitary gland the endorphins the pain, the endorphins, neuropeptides are released, which gives rise to analgesia or pain relief. And it happens just by mere thinking the body's particular organ is secreting this thing and it is going to help body. You can call it placebo, but it works. It's real. It's as real as taking a pill. So the belief makes us exactly right now why we are suffering, because we believe we are this body mind complex and we are suffering. But let's say your belief is ki I am Brahman, I am pure awareness, I am not body mind complex, I am still, and I am uninvolved, and I am always a pure witness. And keep repeating, remembering just this all the time. Since you wake up, you just stay still like Arunachala. What will happen? Tell me. It would look weird to your mind. The mind will think, what a stupid idea. You are body mind, you love clothes, you have so many tastes, you love life, you are a party goer or whatever. Then what will happen? You keep repeating this mantra. I am pure awareness. I am uninvolved. I am still. I am not body mind. In whatever way, keep all these pointers which we discuss in satsang. Keep reminding yourself, remembering it. Stay like that. Behave like that. What will happen? What will happen? Tell me. You are not giving any scope to this mind which is taking you. Oh no, it's all nonsense. Let it say nonsense. You stay that. Let it say nonsense. You stay that. What will happen? If you believe you are Brahman, if you believe you are pure awareness, the jiva, the soul, will finish off. It is fake. That ego is completely fake. The fakeness is surviving because of our interest in it. The moment our belief comes that I am pure awareness, and the moment you say that you are same Ramana, Bhagavan has spoken out of us only because of his compassion. And then that knowledge came to us. Somehow we got into this circle of consciousness in which we are all looking for that. And that all of us, with his grace and with the grace of Arunachala Shiva, we are getting out of the dream. If you
Our this kind of talk or Vivekananda was giving fundamental religions, and one lady got up and told that, Swamiji, you are hypnotizing us. And he replied back saying that I'm dehypnotizing you. You are hypnotized as I am the body, I am the mind. I am now dehypnotizing you. So how powerful that words were. We are hypnotized because I am the body, I am the mind, I am thinking always. So I say I am not, so I am half full, so I want to get something so that I can become full. No, I am full. I am Purnam. In that case, what do I want? Like that kind of thinking should replace. Then what happens is the mind over matter starts working. Like you were telling, mind over matter. So it automatically works, provided we have that tenacity. You have to keep it up for a long time. And Ramakrishna Bhagavan says it's not 1 or 2 days work, it's 12 years, minimum 12 years work. But it depends on the person, how much karma he has. For some person, it happens like this. Some person, it takes a long time. That's why we call about titiksha. Just forbear. Whatever be the case, I'll go on, march on. That's one of the best slogans is Uttared Atmanatmanam. Push yourself by your own self. Don't allow the mind to drag yourself down. Because mind is your best friend. Otherwise, it becomes your worst enemy.
Once you have made up your mind, taken up a path, you have decided what needs to be done. Don't stop till we finish the task. That is what it is. And look, one life. We don't know more lives. We don't know what we will be in the next life. Why to postpone it? Let's do it. And look, this whole journey is also beautiful. I know there can be suffering, there can be frustration, but that's why we do satsang. We come together and we help each other, and the whole idea is to transcend. And that energy of the satsang, the group looking for the truth, is actually itself is uplifting. You might have heard about the story about a bird in a net being and they can't flee, so all the birds came and they just flew with the net, the whole net. So this is the power of satsang, power of all those beings which are looking to be free and using the combined energy with that grace. That is the power. And only what we are looking, we are not talking about going for a party or doing something, or we are not after anything except knowing our true self. And true self is in all of us, just witnessing our longing. And more you have that longing, more eagerness, more that intuitive, how should I say, like your excitement, your love to know, your curiosity to know, not dullness but a curiosity to be that, that eagerness to be that, to embrace it. So that awareness will reveal you completely. And all these things will help you. The satsang will help you. Arunachala Shiva will help you. Bhagavan's teachings, pointers will help you. And just a pure observing and the and the belief. So this is the difference. A bhakta, a devotee, he starts in duality and then he merges and becomes non-dual. But here we start with non-dual. We are pure awareness. Now what happens is you start where you have to end. But then what is the issue? The issue is that all the things which are not settling, they have to settle, because we have taken that stand that we are pure awareness. Now whatever the attributes which are in the self, like mind, like ego, like intellect, which you didn't ask them, and you took your own decision to establish in self, you didn't take their permission. Okay, now these were four people living together: you, self, your ego, your intellect, your mind. You have not taken permission. What will they will revolt. How come you do? It's democracy. You never asked us. How can you move? You were always after things. You wanted to buy a new car or new house, and what happened? Suddenly you say, no, I'm still. What do you mean? No, we will revolt. And because of this condition they will revolt, and because of that revolt you will feel that you are not settled, you are not self, you are always self. Let them revolt, let them do what they are doing. You just stay, you put your attention in this pure awareness what you are. Have the firm belief, firm faith, and believe in guru, believe in his teachings, and then take support of things like Arunachala, and let all of this help us, and stay firm with a firm belief, firm conviction. And what will happen? The mind has to bow its head. The ego has to dissolve. Don't give any chance. Be like, don't compromise. Don't compromise. Now you might think the mind is coming with a revolt. It will, because we have feeded it so much, so that now and it has generated power from our interest only. But now you are cutting the supply, you're not interested in it. So what will happen? That with some momentum and some previous energy and with some interest, it might still show up. Let it be, let it be, let it be. You have used your mind so much, now it is showing some tantrums. We have to face it. We have to face it, because all pleasures will give rise to pain. We have used this mind for so many pleasures, it will give some pain also. Let it be.
There is an example given for what Sanjay was saying, that if you have a maze, one side there is the mouse, and the other side there's the bread or cheese is kept. So the young kid will go from where the mouse is and try to go there. But normally elder people will go from where the cheese is, so you can find out very easily. So the Advaita point of view is, oneness point of view is going from the end point. So it is much easier. If you again and again look at this way, going from the end point is much easier. What is your goal? Think about that goal. Everybody says in a relative world also. So May's example is the easiest example to drive home the point is, I am going, I know that this is the end point, so why not start with that? So that is the beauty of Advaita.
The beauty, yeah. So, but Bhagwan used to say that this is for a very mature advanced seeker. Why he's saying that? He's saying this not because mature advanced seeker means that you have done a lot of penance and you are sitting in a cave, not like that, but because now it's not giving you any chance to escape. As a devotee, there is a lot of chance to escape. Like you can be non-dual for maybe many lives, maybe, who knows. Here we are not giving any chance for non-duality. We are not treating anything outside the awareness. We are awareness. So the thing is that maturity means that you are not giving any time for wisdom to dawn on you. You just embrace wisdom immediately, and then everything has to follow it. So it is for the mind which is really calm, which is convinced, and an open heart which is good to take that plunge. No mucking around. You can't give look, I'll do this puja, on a Tuesday for half an hour, and that's just okay, and then I will do this and this, and then next Tuesday I'll also do puja, something rituals, or it's not giving any chance to do anything else except being in awareness all the time. That's all. The job, you have done the job which we are. So the end is the first step, and then rest of it has to follow. Tell me how it would be difficult. It can't be difficult. Or what is the doubt in it? There's no doubt in it. And all the support what you want is already with you. The support from within and the support from outside. And so when you sit, when you believe, when you have 100% conviction, then there's nothing else left. Another piece of advice I can give is that when you are in awareness and the mind and all those things are happening or settling, yes, that is a process which will continue depending on how much impurities or garbage or baggage we are carrying in those things. So that can take some time, but to be established in awareness is this thing. There's nothing, there's no, not even a fraction of a second. It's just you are in it. Now you don't have to do anything. You just have to be that only. What else do you want? What can, where is the doubt? When there's no mind, there's no doubt. And let the mind create doubts, and the silence, the silence, the power of silence will raise all the doubts, because there's no other way. We can keep doing answer and question using the mind, more intellectual, more personal questions. They have no value. Once you stay in silence, the silence will answer all the questions to your mind. But if you're not interested and the mind is creating some questions or doubts, let it be, let it be. And the same self we touch every day in our deep sleep. And that time we don't doubt anything, because there is no mind. The mind slips before the awareness comes, because there's no mind, there's no doubt. And when we wake up and then we say we are pure awareness, then the mind is there, so the doubts come. But we stay with doubtless every day. We are in doubtless situation every day. That is what we are. Anyone has to say anything about it, or tell their own experience of anything? I thought there was a bit of discussion today So maybe someone might have something to say. That is so good, No one has doubt. Very good. Live a life where there are no surprises for you. No surprises. How, in the pure awareness, anything can surprise you, or what you have to be ready for. Readiness is only for if you have boundaries, if you have enemies, if you are working on an individual mode, that I and you are separate. This is my work and that is your work, and this is my life and that is your life. But in awareness mode, where do you stop as being? Where is your boundary as being in awareness? Where it starts and where it ends, and in which direction? And as you awareness rest, everything you see is you only, because that same awareness is pervading in every image you see, living or non-living. Human images or any birds or plants or trees. Then how do you say where your territory ends? How much is your boundary? And when you are boundaryless, then whom would you say it is yours? Or staying in awareness, you read newspaper or you listen to news, it looks so fake. China and Australia exchanging words, or different politicians exchanging words, or different states fighting about the border things or whatever, you know, quarantine, or the global issues of any sort in which big egos of nations. Staying in awareness and watching news or listening to news, when when I when I used to see Bhagwan's picture with a newspaper, I had this question so many times: what Bhagwan reads in the newspaper? What what is of interest in pure awareness reading about all gossips? Why he's reading? He always used to look through the newspaper.
There was an example given by Ramana. I had the same question long time ago. When I read that example, the question, this vanished, that doubt vanished. Because he says that if there is in those days, people used to put a tent and watch movie in the tent because there was no theaters. So he will say that in the tent, the movie is going on. Suddenly a huge wind comes and takes away the tent. What impact will have the movie on, because of sunlight? What impact will have the movie on your eyes, on the watcher's eyes? It will have no impact because the 1,000 watts or whatever projector or whatever is going, dynamo is working, is no match to the sun. So like that, the world is no match to the sun of the self. All this is going on like no effect on you. Then only I understood why, even if it doesn't matter, even if you read a newspaper or watch a TV, it will not make any impact, no impact. So you are correct. But then that particular example given by Ramana cleared the doubt immediately for me. Very beautiful example.
And I'll tell you, the people in the mind body complex, I'm very honest, should never read news, never listen to news, because it will have a very, very bad impact on them. The only right person to listen to the news is a person in self-abidance. It will have no effect. So that is why what an enlightened or what a self-abidance person is doing, and what a sadhaka, what a siddha does, and what a sadhaka does should not be the same. Because sadhaka on the path of liberation should try to avoid all the confrontations which can feed to the mind. But when there is no mind, when there's no where that the projector can have an effect, then you can read, or you can even go to any place which is you know people might think that this is not the right place for a person to go, because how can it affect you when you have dissolved your mind? The thing which gets attached creates vasanas and impressions. So you can see that, you know, people read news and then they get affected, and then they take side of one party or the other, or they feel so miserable if things have happened in even in distant place, you know. But where you are in pure awareness, who are the parties? There's no party there. You can't be part to one group and not to the other. Life becomes so beautiful actually. life be, Life actually comes to complete stillness, because all the time what we do is we like something and we dislike something, we judge things, and we say we have so many concepts about this is good and this is bad, and you know. So Bhagavan himself never told people what to do or what not to do. He never made a rule book at ashram. He only told when people asked him a direct question about anything. Even let's say food. People were asking, who were eating. I know people who were very ardent devotees of Bhagwan and still having non-veg, eating meat, and they used to ask, and Bhagwan used to say, it's good if you leave it, because you know, for the mind, food is such an important thing. And they said, oh look, I love. Bhagwan never discarded them, that you know, you go away, you know, I will not teach you. He said, but this is what it helps, you know. You should try to, you know. He always talked about the sattvic food, that sattvic food is good for your dissolution of mind, to help in your sadhana. But if you look into the type of food served when Bhagwan was there, it was always rajasic food, a lot of spices in the food, you know, when he was there. Because not because he didn't put conditions to the people around, they liked that food and he also had that food. And sometimes, you know, he had tummy issues, you know, sometimes he had bloating, and he said, you know, what can I do? This is the thing, you know, he accepted everything. The people around him, you know, they divided Brahmins on one side, and he said, okay, that's fine. And you know, he's happy they have divided, because on those times, you know, Brahmins will eat only with Brahmins, and so they have to put a wall in between and divide the people, you know. And remember, one of his relatives came to visit him, and he saw that division, and he saw Bhagwan sitting on the opposite side. So what he did was, he brought his plate, he sat next to Bhagwan, and Bhagwan said, why are you sitting here? He said, look, I don't believe in this you know, casteism and all. Bhagwan said, you haven't evolved, you go where your place is. The divisions are not for a person who has dissolved the mind, but still you behave in society the way the society is behaving, you know. You can't say that, okay, now this is not so, I will do it. There was a beautiful example in Raja Janak's life, you know. Someone brought just to show this, that even being a king, everything is a place. Like, I don't remember the story, but it was like there was a Brahmin, there was a priest, there was an elephant, there was a dog, and there was a peacock or something. So Raja Janak, the King Janak, who was an enlightened soul, he asked the priest to take his position, everything, asked the dog to be taken outside, and peacock in a cage or whatever. He distributed. He said, according to what the costume a person is wearing, you have to treat accordingly, because even though it's a dream, it's an image, because someone asked that everyone should be treated equally. If you do that, you make tiger sit with you, he will eat you up. You have to put him in a cage, or you have to take that distance. So this is the thing. So each to his own. You still have to follow the dream in the way the dream is, in those roles. But yes, internally you are not an image. That should be 100% clear in your own experiential knowledge. And then you can still do the role, what you are, this body mind is doing. You're just watching it. You're not even doing the role. You're just a witness to the role performed by the body mind. And so there are no conflicts in anything. But yes, the first thing first, that we have to be abiding in the awareness. Practice it, be convinced about it, stay in it. And then whatever is happening and things unfolding, we should not think too much, because mind can keep giving us a lot of uh, even before you reach there, it will say, then what will we'll do if this situation arises, or this, because these are the tricks of the mind to stay there, not to get dissolved. Accepting everything, whatever is happening. Silence comes naturally to us. Total acceptance makes everything on standstill. On total acceptance, everything becomes silent. All the images look so beautiful, pretty, and innocent. And the whole life, whatever the situation is, becomes a very peaceful and silent movie. As if all the emotional melodrama of the movie is being taken out. And the tone of the movie becomes so peaceful, without any conflict. All images, all thoughts, everything looks, appears, behaves in harmony, in complete peace. In total acceptance, nothing irritates, nothing upsets you, nothing creates any anger. Pure awareness, infinite awareness, all pervading awareness is our true self. All the shapes and forms are in it. Mind is in it. All activities and inactivities are in it. All this play of images does not make pure awareness impure. It is untainted, always fresh, always the same. There is no present, past, or future for awareness. It has never ever changed. It does not appear or disappear. It is. Just isness. It is conscious. It is alive. It is a silent witness. It is the pure intelligence. Nothing is separate from it. Nothing can hide from it. Maya is not separate from it. Maya is its own play. Illusory word. All the images are its own play. And it has created this not for any reason, just a playful, just to create some movement, no other purpose, no higher purpose. Creation and dissolution. In this play, we are an observer. Body mind is participating. And we are pure perceiver. Witness to the play. So, no animosity with all the images and their actions. When we know all our projections from the pure awareness, how the projections can be separate from pure awareness. This pure awareness is the self. And so everything is part of the self, but not affecting the self. Stay as self. Let the play continue the way it is. It does not have any effect on us as pure awareness. Om